Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, a member of the parliamentary opposition in the Nevis Island Assembly, criticized the CCM-led Nevis Island administration over the handling of the proposed redevelopment of the Vance Amory International Airport. MP Daniel Hodge commented on the matter during her 6th December address following the budget address presented the previous day by NIA Premier Mark Brantley. According to Dr. Daniel Hodge, due process has not been followed, including what she believes is the absence of a feasibility study that could lead the project into future problems.
Madam President, I think this would be very distasteful for any serious-minded investor, the way that this airport project is being handled. And so, Madam President, when it comes to the public-private partnerships that the government is presenting as the entities and the relationships for building resilience for a sustainable economy, one cannot be confident that the approach that is being taken to have an advisor who is not a member of the NIA, and as far as I know, is not a member of NASPA. And I know because people have come to me complaining, why is this man harassing me? And so, Madam President, without a plan, without a clear understanding of whose responsibility is what, it is no there really is no comfort in what is being done with regards to the development of Nevis.
The Nevis Island administration recently held its first town hall meeting on the proposed redevelopment plans for the Vance Amory International Airport in Newcastle. Glenn Barth reporting for SK Newsline.
Notice has been given for a sitting of the National Assembly to be held at the National Assembly Chambers, Government Headquarters, for the budget presentation. This is on December 13th, starting at 10 a.m. During this session, the focus will be presenting the annual financial statement and budgetary proposals for the 2024 fiscal year. Following this, budgetary debates will continue on Thursday, December 14th. According to Section 71(3) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, following the budget speech by the Minister of Finance, the motion for the second reading of the bill will be seconded and the debate on it will be deferred to a later date as determined by the Minister of Finance. Section 71(4) specifies that the debate on the second reading of the bill should focus solely on the financial and economic status of state and the broad principles of the government's policy and administrative approach as reflected in the bill and the estimates. Furthermore, Section 71(5) states that after the debate, the appropriation bill and the estimates will be sent to a committee of the whole National Assembly known as the Committee of Supply for further deliberation. The Appropriation 2024 Bill 2023 is a legislative measure aimed at allocating funds for the services of St. Christopher Nevis for the financial year starting the 1st of January 2024 and concluding on the 31st of December. Further information, including the order paper and other relevant documents, will be made available later. Interested individuals can access copies of the bills on the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service website at www.sknis.gov.kn, specifically in the bills section. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Taxi and tour bus operators on Nevis earlier this week participated in a training where they received a refresher's course. The course comprised presentations on operational standards and policy for taxi operators by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, John Hanley, destination awareness and guest expectation by former CEO of the Nevis Tourism Authority, Greg Phillip, and the art of storytelling by educator and author Leonard Stapleton. Premier Mark Brantley spoke to the participants, stressing the importance of their role in tourism.
I want to thank each and every one of you for the work that you have been doing and the work that you continue to do. I want to say to you that we remain open, willing, and able to assist where necessary. And where you have concerns, where you have needs, I ask you to bring them to us. We don't know everything. You are the ones out there on the front line. You hear the guests. You may hear from the guests what their experience is, what they would have liked to see. And that feedback will be very useful to us, to help us to do what we do better. At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, Nevis is our Nevis. It's all we have. All we have. And it is for us to protect it. It is for us to do the best we can. It is for us always to put our best foot forward, understanding that whatever we do or say impacts this little island of ours. And if, as we all like to claim, we love Nevis, and Nevis nice, we must demonstrate it in our actions and in the quality of service that we offer.
Vanessa Webb, Product Development Manager, says the Ministry of Tourism plans to host a similar seminar to recruit new taxi and tour bus operators. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
The second annual Sugar Mass Awards of 2023 provided another occasion to recognize many individuals who provided significant support and contributions to the 52-year-old St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival. In welcoming the audience to the recent event, Minister Samuel Duggins, who spearheads the Ministry of Creative Economy, not only thanked the many persons who have contributed to Carnival over the years, but he commented also on the substantial economic contribution that the festival generates.
Awards are motivational tools and marks of creative excellence. They encourage people to give their best, express empowerment, and take thoughtful risks. This is the premise on which these Sugar Mass Awards were introduced last year in 2022. I am delighted that the National Carnival Committee continues to recognize the immense value of our stakeholders. My delight is heightened by the fact that this type and caliber of formal recognition is now a signature event on our Sugar Mass calendar. You see, because of last year's hosting, the nation was made aware of our rich cultural history and was able to connect with all those who paved the way. The National Carnival Act of 1971 ushered in a cultural shift that cemented Carnival as a key economic booster and driver for our tourism sector. The economic spin-offs as a result of Carnival are far-reaching and tremendous. When you consider the vendors, the hotels, the bars, the restaurant, taximen, and all of our creatives, Carnival continues to be that time of year when everyone, regardless of differences, can come together and celebrate our rich cultural heritage and to express themselves creatively and artistically. Our returning nationals and tourists alike come in large numbers and inject much needed foreign capital into our economy. And I have no doubt, with our renewed drive in international marketing and the infusion of regional and international social media influencers, Sugar Mass, as we know it, will redound to even greater economic gains.
Category of awards presented included the Poinciana Award and the Steward of Carnival Awards. Then Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
As part of a set of actions to enforce Sunday's sham referendum, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro unveiled a new map on Tuesday, asserting Venezuela's claim over the Essequibo region. He also announced that his administration would grant concessions in the resource-rich Essequibo region and give companies operating within the disputed area 3 months to evacuate. In response to this new development, President Dr. Irfan Ali late Tuesday night viewed the declaration as an imminent threat and immediately lodged a complaint with the United Nations Security Council, urging appropriate action.
We've engaged CARICOM, the OAS, the Commonwealth, and many of our bilateral partners, including the United States of America, Brazil, the United Kingdom, and France. The Ghana Defense Force is on full alert and has engaged its military counterparts, including the U.S. Southern Command.
Last Friday, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, ruled that Venezuela should refrain from taking control over Guyana's Cinderella County. And now, with Maduro's announcement, President Ali said that not only did the Spanish-speaking nation reject international law and fundamental justice, but have declared themselves an outlaw nation.
We will not allow our territory to be violated, nor the development of our country to be stymied by this desperate threat.
Among other actions announced by Maduro include the creation of a new High Commission for the Defense of Guyana Essequibo, coordinated by Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, immediately activate the debate in the National Assembly for the approval of the organic law for the defense of the Essequibo, create the Zone of Integral Defense of the Guyana Essequibo with 3 areas and 28 sectors of integral development to be located in Tomarimo. Designate Alexis Cabello as sole authority of the Guyana Essequibo, whose political and administrative headquarters will be located in Tomarimo. Create the division of PDVSA Essequibo and CVG Essequibo for the exploration and exploitation of gas, oil and mining, and activate an integral social attention plan for the entire population of Guyana Essequibo that includes a census and the opening of a SIME office for the delivery of identification cards to the population based in Tomarimo. At a symposium earlier this week, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal said that Guyana would ask the UN Security Council to impose wide-ranging sanctions or military action should its western neighbor annex 2/3 of its territory. Moreover, the government has said that it is prepared for any eventuality. Reporting for HGB Nightly News, Shamar Allen.
While the St. Lucia Teachers Union is not opposed to the revision of the Education Act, says President Don Howell, he, however, believes that there has not been enough consultation with stakeholders. The Education Ministry has been presenting the draft revised education bill and regulations to the public for feedback via town hall meetings, but Howell argues that it is not enough for such a critical piece of legislation.
We believe that there should be consultation and not only discussions. There's a fundamental difference between the two. The Act will affect everyone in St. Lucia. Importantly, it impacts the practitioners, including teachers, principals, and counselors, who are expected to operationalize the Act. Therefore, the consultation on the Education Act should be thorough. One-time meetings and town hall presentations are not enough.
Howell also feels that teachers have been overlooked by the Education Ministry, which has not considered their suggestions to have further dialogue during the review process.
To assist in raising awareness of this issue, the SLTU invited the Ministry of Education consultants to its education conference in October of 2023. Although this was not a decision-making meeting, it provided an opportunity for the consultants to gather some recommendations. One of the recommendations that stood out was that more consultation has to be done, and short one-hour sessions will not allow for any in-depth discussion on the Act. The consultant agreed, and the consultant also shared that they had only engaged 500 people at that time.
The SLTU president recalls that when the town hall meetings to discuss the draft bill were initially scheduled, no meeting was arranged for teachers or principals. The ministry's response to a request for a meeting specifically for educators was met with contempt, says Howell.
The SLTU requested that arrangements be made to have proper consultations with teachers and principals. However, the ministry indicated that the practitioners can just join the town hall meetings set up for the public. The SLTU was astonished. When will teachers and principals and other practitioners be given an opportunity to review what the consultants have gathered from all the group discussions, including what they would have gathered from the little meetings that they probably would have had with teachers? Consultation is not a one-time meeting where presentations are made for about 2 hours on Zoom on a Friday afternoon when people are exhausted from the week. We noted that after the SLTU's claim, the ministry set up a one-time meeting for teachers on a Friday afternoon. This can never do justice to the review of the Education Act.
The SLTU has written to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education for intervention and has called on the Education Ministry to do right by the educators. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
Welcome back. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is facing new allegations of sexual assault. This time, a woman claims the rapper drugged and sexually assaulted her in New York City back in 1991. He is denying the allegations, but these new claims come exactly 1 week after Combs settled a separate lawsuit involving his ex-girlfriend Cassie, who accused him of sex trafficking, rape, and domestic abuse. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson joins us now on this from Los Angeles. Hi, Steve. So tell us more about the allegations and why the victim chose to come forward now.
No, Savannah, the allegations are horrific, and if you include not only Sean Diddy Combs but his associates, this is actually the third lawsuit in as much time levied against Combs and his inner circle. This one, as you mentioned, stems from 1991. A Syracuse University college student says that Sean Diddy Combs took her out to dinner, that she was drugged, and that she was drugged for the purpose of a sexual assault, and that she was so drugged that she could not fight back against said sexual assault. There's also the accusation that the sexual assault itself was recorded as a form of revenge porn, and that tape was shown to several people, including a member of the 90s R&B group Jodeci. The accuser says that she was so hurt and so confused and so traumatized at the time that she didn't file anything, that she didn't follow up, but that she did follow up following that incident with a police report in both New York and New Jersey, and that she's coming out 30 years later because this Sex Adult Survivors Act in New York was set to expire just a day before she filed suit in New York. But the true inspiration, of course, was the lawsuit filed by Cassie and the inspiration from that. Savannah.
And Steve, have we heard any response here from Combs? I mentioned that he's denying the allegations, but anything else specific from him or his legal team?
Yeah, we've heard from his legal team. I'll read a quote from you. This is in part. It says, quote, "The last-minute suit is an example of how a well-intentioned law can be turned on its head. The accuser's 32-year-old story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her. This is purely a money grab." Savannah.
Right. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson. We know you'll stay on this. Thank you so much.
Awarding him the National Medal of Arts in 1999, President Bill Clinton said,
"Norman Lear has held up a mirror to American society and changed the way we look at it."
It was an apt summary of Lear's prolific and groundbreaking career. His hybrid comedy dramas, or dramedies, often tackled difficult social issues like racism, poverty, drug abuse, and politics.
You are a meathead.
Lear's All in the Family, a comedy about the cantankerous working-class right-wing conservative Archie Bunker's battles with his family, hippie son-in-law, and modern life in general, was unlike any American television show before it. Running from 1971 to 79, the show dissected changing times, politics, civil rights, and the women's movement with wit and sometimes pathos. The Jeffersons, about a suddenly wealthy family, and its later spin-off, Good Times, both of them featuring predominantly black casts. Lear was raised in a Jewish household in New England and served in the U.S. Army Air Force in the Second World War. He started as an early television comedy writer before developing his own shows. In all, Lear was involved in the creation or production of over 100 TV programs. Early experiences with anti-Semitism made Lear a political activist. He advocated for liberal, progressive causes and freedom of expression. Lear founded People for the American Way in 1981 in response to the increasing political influence of conservative Christian religious organizations. The group lobbied for separation of church and state. Later, he founded an organization that encouraged young U.S. citizens to register and vote. He was married 3 times and had 6 children. Commenting on his embrace of the controversial, Lear once said, You can't change people's minds, but you can get them to think.
The 2023 Keith Gums Under-17 League finalists have been decided. Nagico Keon Rockets will take on St. Thomas Trinity Strikers on a Sunday at 5 p.m. at the SKNFA Technical Center. Both teams earned their spot in the finals after winning their respective semi-finals on Wednesday, also at the SKNFA Technical Center. Keon defeated Bath United 3-0, while St. Thomas Trinity Strikers and Newtown United went the distance to penalty kicks after 1-1 at the end of regulation time. Newtown scored the first goal against the run of play with a goalkeeping error gifting them the lead, but Strikers were always within striking distance and came close just moments later to equalizing before hitting the crossbar. After earning a free kick in the middle of the park, Strikers found the back of the net to equalize and eventually sending the match into penalties and taking the victory for 7-6 in penalties, 8-7 total score. Meanwhile, in the SKNFA Youth Cup Under-13 and Atiba Harris Under-15 League, we have results. SL Horses St. Paul's winning by default as Connery Fireballs did not show up for their match earlier this week. Then Rams Village Superstars were edged 1-0 by Bath United Tuesday at the Atiba Harris Sporting Complex. In the Atiba Harris Under-15 League, Newtown United defeated TGE Date Bay Eagles 2-1, and Bath United matching their score from the Under-13 League over Rams Village Superstars, edging them 1-0. The SKNFA Youth League continues with matches on Thursday and on the weekend.